What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love Match Atlanta Season 1, Episode 1, Meet the Matchmakers. So this is a brand new series that premiered on Bravo, and it follows a group of matchmakers in Atlanta that focus primarily on matchmaking within the African American community. Yes, there are other races involved as well, but their main focus for the most part and for most of these matchmakers is matching African American couples. So it's going to show us the shenanigans of the matchmakers within themselves and the shenanigans of their clients. So the first matchmaking group that we have is Kelly Fisher and Tana Gilmore. They have a partnership, and I think their company is called Matchmaking Duo. They come from Charlotte. I think it's Charlotte. Is it Charlotte, North Carolina or Charlotte, South Carolina? But they come from Charlotte. They moved their business to Atlanta. They've been in the industry, the matchmaking industry, for 12 years. They have a success rate of 87%. And there is a actual waiting list just to get your initial consultation with them. And their starting price is $25,000. If I'm going to pay somebody $25,000 to match me, you will definitely find me a husband. He will be the man of my dreams. He will be my Prince Charming. We will definitely be getting married. The white picket fence, the 2.5 children. I'm going to have the wedding of my dreams. I'm going to get the whole shebang if I'm going to pay $25,000. I'll be damned if I pay $25,000 and get nothing in return, or you just set me up with a whole bunch of losers wasting my time. And the $25,000, that is just the starting price. It goes up even higher than that. I think they said up to $100,000. People are paying this kind of money to find a partner in Atlanta. This is absolutely insane, because you can do this. And I understand, the whole thing about, doing what you've always been doing. You're going to get the same results and you want to try something different, so on and so forth. But spending up to $100,000 to find a man? Are you kidding me? And then it's just going to be a lifetime of headaches after that? I think not. So they are like the upper echelon of matchmakers. They are like top tier. They're the number one matchmaking company, or the matchmaking business within the African American matchmaking community. They've been featured on a whole bunch of television shows. They've been interviewed. They have conferences. They have speeches. They are like the real deal Holyfield as far as running a corporation or running a business. Next, we have Shay. Shay is solo. She works on her own, but her company caters more to the middle class matchmaker. So she's been in the business for 9 years. Her success rate is 90%, and she doesn't take clients unless she knows that she can definitely match them. So when we meet Shay, she's already working with a client by the name of Ashley. So Ashley is an online blogger. She blogs a lot about sex. She's very unlucky in that department, though. She says, because I blog about sex, people automatically assume that I'm out there, swinging from the chandeliers, that I'm booked and busy with the men. But no, it's not like that. She says it's not like that at all. She gets absolutely no play from nobody. And so, therefore, she is here with Shay trying to find a match. She's a very unique character, this Ashley girl. Some of the things that she looked for, or that she made it a point that she had to have in her partner, she told Shay that he had to have a job. That was number one. Nothing, we're not going to negotiate that. He has to be employed. She was really concerned about the size of the anatomy. And also, she's very open with her sexuality. So at her consultation with Shay, she actually brought a bag of toys, and she was actually pulling them out and showing them to Shay. So like that aspect of her life, she's very like free, willing to explore, no holds barred, it's whatever. So Shay says that the men in Atlanta, now let me say something about Ashley. Ashley is a very pretty, dark-skinned woman, very chocolate. She had like a very short natural hairstyle. She wore like, really funky eyeglasses. She was very quirky, very cute, very quirky. But Shay says that in Atlanta, most of the men are looking for the Instagram model. She said something like they want the kind of woman who has got where did she say the boobs from somewhere and the butt from Brazil? So the typical guy, the typical client that she comes across, they want that Instagram model look, that Kim Kardashian, copy and paste kind of look. So Ashley doesn't fit, her aesthetic really doesn't fit what most of the men are looking for, but Shay says that everybody deserves to find love and that she would never have taken Ashley on as a client if she didn't believe that she could match her. And her rate is between $3,000 to $5,000. Still, okay, first of all, I've been married for quite a while, and before I got married, the dating world was completely different. We didn't have all of this Match.com and what else is out there? They got Match.com and Bumble and Tinder, all that stuff. That stuff didn't exist in my day. So, I'm like at the cusp of where people were finding people in the newspaper, like they would have like the what do they used to call them, the lonely hearts section, where like you would buy a newspaper and there was a section of the newspaper where people were looking for for love, looking for partners, and it was a whole bunch of abbreviations, single white female looking for single white, that's, I'm at the cusp of that, and when people first started meeting on the internet. So what's going on right now, I'm very unfamiliar with all of this stuff. When I'm hearing these prices, it's blowing my mind. But maybe for like the average American out there, paying $3,000 to $5,000 to find a mate is nothing. Maybe that's what these matchmaking companies are charging. Maybe this is the going rate. But even $3,000 to $5,000 for a matchmaking service to me was absolutely insane. So that's Shay. Next, we meet Ming. Ming, her company is called Colorblind International. She has 12 years experience in the matchmaking business. Her success rate is about 87%, and she focuses on multicultural international matchmaking. And she says that she herself is the top matchmaker in Atlanta. So she has recruiters. I guess all of them probably do have recruiters that will actually recruit people to come and be set up, I guess, by her company. So she has recruiters who are working for her. One of her clients is this guy named Troy. He's 49 years old. He's in marketing. Oh, he owns his own marketing firm. He's divorced. He's got 4 kids. So she's meeting up with Troy for like a check-in. And Troy has been her client for about 3 months, and he's looking for, now Troy himself, I think he was Caucasian. He could have been Hispanic, but I think he was Caucasian. So Troy himself, he's looking for a young, slim, chocolate little boo thing. That's what he prefers. And Ming tells us that this is one of our more problematic clients because like he's never satisfied with whoever she fixes him up with. And when she sees that there's like an issue or a problem, she'll have him try to fix those problems. So she'll give him advice on what he needs to do to be more marketable, to be more approachable, just to give him a better chance of meeting somebody. She wants him to do certain things. And whatever these certain things are, he's not willing to do. He's not really willing to put in the work. So, she's kind of frustrated with him. So he meets up with Ming, and they meet at a restaurant, and she tells him that I want to see you try to find someone on your own. I want to see how you can work the room. So I think they're in a bar or in a restaurant. So she tells him, look around and tell me if you see anything that you like, and I want you to approach her because I want to see how you put the Mac down. So he sees a young lady, African-American lady, very, very attractive African-American lady. He walks up to her. He asks her for her name. She said her name is Tamika. They do some small talk. They talked about different types of liquor or different types of wine. I think he asked to buy her a drink or something. And that got the conversation going on what they prefer as far as drinks. He said he was more into whiskey and, liquor. And then she asked him, has he ever been to Tennessee to try the whiskey from Tennessee? He said no. And then she said, well, you should try that sometime. You need to live a little. You need to be spontaneous. One day hop on a plane and go to Tennessee to try their whiskey. So she seemed very adventurous. She seemed very spontaneous, for her to come up with an idea like that. And so then I guess he was sort of flopping because Mean came and interrupted and took him away. And she was like, okay, so let's see how you did. First of all, what was her name? He couldn't even remember. Okay, did you find her attractive? She was a very attractive young lady. He looked at her and he goes, oh, I gave her about a 5. And Ming was like, a 5? That's a beautiful woman. What do you mean you'd give her about a 5? So this is one of her more problematic clients. So this is giving us a little bit of insight on what she's working with and how she conducts her business. So now we are back to the matchmaking duo, which is Tana and what was the other one's name? Kelly. Tana and Kelly. So like I said, they recently moved to Atlanta from Charlotte. Now what they're going to do, they're going to introduce a program where they are going to be training people to become top-notch matchmakers and, give them all the secrets of the trade. And it's going to be like a matchmaking school or a matchmaking academy. So that's going to be the new thing. That's their new project. So then we meet Joseph. He is the only male matchmaker so far on the show. His company is called Real Black Love. He's been doing it for about 8 years and has a 90% success rate. So he's meeting up with Shay because I think they're friends. And we find out that Shay herself, she has 2 children, 19 and 2. And so when he shows up at her apartment, I don't know why, but all of a sudden they started rearranging her furniture. So they rearrange her furniture. And then when they're done with that, we get to know a little bit more about Shay. Shay says that her and the father of her daughter's name is Ava, the 2-year-old, they had broken up after 8 years. And it was a pretty difficult breakup. So she has shared this information to Joseph. Well, Joseph ended up blabbing this to a whole bunch of people. And I don't know how this happened, but he ended up blabbing this information that she had broken up with the father of her child in front of some of her clients. And so that really embarrassed Shay because as a matchmaker, you don't want your clients to look at you and be like, well, how can you get my life together? How can you find me someone when you can't keep anybody yourself? So they begin to doubt your potential and your skills. So there's like kind of bad blood between Shay and Joseph. So other black matchmakers, they'll also have an issue with Joseph because he's kind of shady. He's very loud. He's very arrogant. He talks a lot. He talks a lot about himself. He's very braggadocious, just a little bit like on the really, really annoying side. So he created an app that is focused on matching, African Americans. And so this app, evidently I don't know if other matchmakers are having an issue with this app. I don't know, but the matchmaking duo, Kelly and Tana, have accused Joseph of stealing some of their ideas that he incorporated into his app. I'm not exactly sure of the details, but the matchmaking duo really don't see it for Joseph. Shay doesn't really see it for Joseph. So he's kind of like the black sheep of the Atlanta matchmaking world. So Shay says that Joseph, people don't like you because, you just kind of rub everybody the wrong way. You're very loud. You're very arrogant. You're very self-centered. So people have an issue with you. And also the biggest issue that they have with him is that he's not certified. He's not a certified matchmaker. Everybody else is certified. I didn't even know you had to be certified to be a matchmaker. Now, the reason why I was interested in this show just a tiny bit was because, a long time ago, many, many, many moons ago, I kind of envisioned myself as a potential matchmaker. Like I thought that would be a really good, interesting business to get into. But of course, I don't have a business mind, so I didn't know exactly how to get started or what to do or whatever. But I had no idea that you basically need to be certified to be considered a professional matchmaker, which Joseph is not. And so people kind of see him as like this rogue matchmaker. They don't really take him seriously. I guess they think that he's kind of like, I don't know, kind of shady with his business. So Joseph himself is planning a mixer, and he wants to invite all the other, big time matchmakers to this mixer. And he also wants them to invite some of their clients, because it's also going to be an event for the clients, to try to find someone. So the matchmaking duo, Kelly and Tana, they're meeting up with their client. So their client is this 40-year-old African American woman by the name of Ray. She's very, very cute, very attractive. She's a nonprofit executive. She's never been married, no children. One of her challenges is that she doesn't have enough confidence in herself. So the matchmaking duo, they find someone for her, an African American attorney by the name of Ryan. I think he had like one or two kids. Obviously, I think he was divorced. I don't know. So they're getting her ready for her date, and part of their services is they also serve as image consultants. So they take her to the store or somewhere to the mall to shop for clothes, and they kind of help her get her look together. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're kind of sort of justifying that $25,000 price tag if you're going to be doing all of this. You're going to be helping me choose my outfit. Also, I guess they have to kind of counsel her with her confidence, whatever issues that you may have. I guess they try to counsel you with that. So it's like they're holding your hand every step of the way, kind of, sort of. So I kind of sort of see why they would charge a lot, but still, that's pretty damn steep. For something that may not even work out. And I'm pretty sure there's a clause in their contract that there are no refunds if it doesn't work out, because you can't predict matters of the heart. So back to Joseph. So we find out that Joseph has a girlfriend. Her name is Paris. Evidently, he met her through his app. And one of the other matchmakers mentions that this is what Joseph does. He meets his potential girlfriends through his app. Anyways, so he has a girlfriend. Her name is Paris. And not only are they in a romantic relationship, they're also in the matchmaking business together. He brought her into his company. So she's also involved with the matchmaking business. So they met online. They made it seem like they met like through some type of social media, but we find out later that he actually met her through his app. So people don't see it for Paris either. I guess because he's associated with Joseph. Shay thinks that Paris is an opportunist. And then the producers ask the matchmaking duo, what do y'all think about Paris? And they were like, who? Pure shade. And one of the issues that Paris has with Joseph is that he is constantly working, and he doesn't allow them to ever take a break from their job, because they struggle with separating the business from the personal life. Ming, the one who's involved with Troy, she is meeting up with her client Troy. She calls up a meeting with him because she feels like that she's done all she could with him. He still hasn't been matched. It's been 3 months. And so she feels like, you know what, we're kind of just spinning our wheels here. So she wants to break it off with him. She wants to end their business relationship. So as soon as they get together, he starts to tell her that, I haven't really been myself lately. I guess he's trying to, justify why he hasn't been doing the things that he needs to do to try to improve his success rate in finding someone. And he tells her that, the anniversary of my brother's death is approaching, so I really haven't been in the right state of mind. And so Ming is like, wow, I was about to break off this relationship with him, this, partnership with him. And now he's talking about, how his brother's, the anniversary of his brother's death is coming up. So she feels really bad because she's about to give him the boot. But she still pulls through. Okay. She still pulls through, and she tells him, I think we've done all we can for you. I don't think we can do anything else for you. Maybe you and I are not a good match as far as helping you find someone. So you probably will have a better success rate with another matchmaking company, or possibly just, going out on your own. And he's like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave you, me. I like working with you. I don't want this to end. And she's like, I'm sorry, it's going to have to end because I can't do anything else. Because I guess, I don't know if they pay, I'm assuming that they pay up front the full amount. But she makes it very clear to him that there are no refunds. And Ming is the one, how much does she charge? I wonder if she's one of the higher end ones. I don't know how much she charges, but yeah, there's no refund if it doesn't work out. So the matchmaking duo, I keep on forgetting their names, Kelly and Tana, they do a follow up with their client Ray, because Ray and Ryan went out on their date. We do see footage of that. And I liked their date. I liked it a lot. First of all, they look good together. That's the first thing that I noticed about couples. They looked really good together. Like if they took pictures, the pictures would look really nice. So they looked really good together. They're very adorable. She's cute, he's cute, and they went out to eat, and the conversation over dinner was just flowing. And they had, stuff in common. They joked, they laughed, they had conversation. Everything was pretty surface. It wasn't anything too heavy or too deep, but they got along. It's like they clicked. And there was a moment in their dinner when they were talking, right? They were so into their conversation. And she said to him, don't forget, you need to eat your food before it gets cold. And he says, I'm not even thinking about my food because I'm so into this conversation. And I loved it. I think the most important thing that two people can have who are trying to start off a relationship is you have to have conversation, because if you can keep each other interested just by talking, then I think everything else will fall into place. I'm not saying you're going to get married and live happily ever after, but it's a start. If you're at dinner with someone on a date and y'all are struggling to find something to talk about, yeah. If you're a good I think the best skill that you can have if you're out there dating, and here I am talking, and I'm not even out there like that, but I think the best skill that you can have if you're out there dating is the gift of conversation. Because even if you've been married for a long time, it's still important to have conversation. It's still important to talk. You know what I mean? Just to talk about anything, just talk about whatever. If y'all can keep that conversation flowing, I think that's a really good sign. So she says that Ray, their client, she said that she definitely wanted to have a second date with Ryan. And Kelly and Tana tell her that, well, we also followed up with Ryan and he's also interested in having a second date with you. So I don't know if this couple is going to be featured again on this show, but if they are, if we're going to follow their journey, I'm very much invested in their relationship now because I want them to work out. So then the matchmaking duo, Kelly and Tana, they meet up with Shay. So they talk about how, Shay says that they're like the masters in marketing. They know how to market themselves really, really well. So Shay tells him about her client, Ashley. And she's like, I have this client. Her name is Ashley. She's kind of out there. She's definitely into, the more explorative side of lovemaking. And she brought her toys with her. She had her whips and chains and whatever else. So she's like, that's the kind of girl that she is. And they show a flashback of Shay talking to a potential match for Ashley. So I guess Shay must have told this guy, kind of given him like an overview of what Ashley looked like. And the guy was like, well, I'm more into the high yellow. So that was a no-go. So Shay says that normally, I would have turned her down, but I really like her. And so, like she's really invested in trying to find someone for her. So my question is this: if Shay would have turned her down, and the way she made it seem like, now I'm putting a lot into this because of course she didn't give a lot of explanation. So when she said that I normally would have turned her down, I guess she meant because she knows the kind of men, the kind of women the men in Atlanta look for, and she didn't fit the bill. So I'm thinking that's why I should have turned her down. But my question is, what would she have told Ashley as far as the reason why, if she did turn her down, what reason would she have given Ashley? Would she have told Ashley the truth and said, well, your look, your aesthetic, it's not what these guys in Atlanta want. Atlanta men, they want light, bright, damn near white, exotic, Instagram model, Kim Kardashian lookalike. That's what they're looking for. Or would she have told her something else? Would she have lied to her? That's what I'm interested in knowing. So then the matchmaking duo and Shay, they talk about Joseph and they talk about how shady he is. Kelly and Tana talk about how 8 years ago they worked with Joseph. He stole some idea from them. They wanted to work with them with the app. So the plan was I don't know if it was to be a part of the app or to have the app and their company somehow do business together. I don't know. But they were working with him when he was developing his app. And they claimed that he took some of their ideas and incorporated them in his app. And, he didn't compensate them. So now it's time for Joseph's mixer. Joseph asked the other matchmakers to bring clients as well. Well, the mixer looked kind of like dead. There was like hardly anybody there. Nobody was really interacting because, some of the clients were there. Nobody was really interacting. Everybody was like in their own little world, and it looked pretty dead, pretty bad. So Shay said that she wasn't going to bring any of her clients to this mixer because she didn't want Joseph to steal her clients. So she didn't even mention this to any of her clients. So Ming shows up. She talks about how dead the mixer looked. It was like about a handful of people there. Nothing was popping. Nothing was going. It didn't look like fun. It was bad. So Shay says in her confessional that she has met Joseph's girlfriend Paris before, and Joseph and Paris are like attached to the hip. And Shay tells us that when you call Joseph, his girlfriend Paris is right there on the phone with them. So when you talk to Joseph, you're also talking to Paris, which is very weird. So Paris stands up and she makes a speech. By this time, everybody is there. All the matchmakers are there. Shay is there. Ming is there. The matchmaking duo, they're there. So all the matchmakers are there. Of course, they're all throwing shade at the mixer, talking about how boring it is, how it's such a flop, and so on and so forth. Any chance they get to dog out Joseph, they're going to take it. So Paris gets up, Joseph's girlfriend. She gets up and she makes a speech, and she talks about how the matchmaking industry in the African American community is really growing. Because, side note, someone had mentioned on the show, I think it was Joseph, he talked about how, back in the day, if African Americans wanted to join a matchmaking service, they had to join a white matchmaking service. And so you just had to hope and pray that they could match you with another African American, which a lot of the times it was pretty rare, because matchmaking services were kind of seen as something that very wealthy white men used. So if an African American, I guess, had the funds to join one, the chance of that if you wanted to meet another African American was slim to none. So Joseph was really trying to explain how this is needed in the African American community, because there are very wealthy African Americans out there who want to use something like this that's really catered to what the community wants and what the community needs. So she makes a speech about that, and then she talks about how, we're trying to become, the black matchmaking industry in Atlanta, we need to expand it, we need to make it international. And then the camera pans to Kelly and Tana, the matchmaking duo, and they're like, under their breath, they're like, okay, we are already international, so like, what are you talking about? We've already made it. We're already on that level and beyond. So Paris announces that her and Joseph plan to start their own matchmaking academy. And so when she said that, the matchmaking duo, Kelly and Tana, the ones that have already announced to their staff that they are going to launch a matchmaking academy. So when that was said, they were like, hold up, wait a minute. I guess, it was like reminiscent of how Joseph has stolen their idea for his app. Maybe now they feel like now he's stealing their ideas for this matchmaking academy. So they were like, I don't think so. So after Paris got done with her speech, announcing that they're going to have a matchmaking academy, it was Tana that stood up, and she was like, oh, hell no. They're not going to overshadow us. They're not going to steal our shine. So she gets up and she walks up there to the stage, and she grabs a microphone and she starts making her own speech, her own unplanned impromptu speech at Joseph's event. And she says, she introduces herself and she says, we are the matchmakers, the certified matchmakers. She made sure that she said that. We are the matchmakers of Atlanta. We are the certified matchmakers of Atlanta. And that's where the episode ended. So that's going to be really interesting. So the thing that I'm interested in the most is the clients. I don't really care about the drama between the matchmakers. I want to see what are they really doing for the clients. Now, what I know for a fact, okay, Joseph is with Paris, but then he met her on his own app. So it's kind of like, And then, Ming, the one who's working with Troy, she herself, does she have, is she married? Because I'm interested in knowing what is going on in their own romantic lives. Like, are they married themselves? I don't know about, the jury is still out for Kelly and Tana, the matchmaking duo, the ones who are like, top tier of all matchmakers. I don't know if they're married or not. Joseph has Paris, And Shay was with the father of her daughter, but they're no longer together. But they were together for 8 years. So that says something at least. And I think it's the one, Ming. I think she's the one that does the international one. She is married and her husband is Caucasian. Yeah, Ming, the one that does the colorblind international. She's definitely married and her husband is Caucasian. And so, yeah, that's what I'm interested in. Oh, and they also had said that Shay said that Ming's company, her matchmaking company, is more like an escort company where she's basically matching like wealthy white men with exotic or women of color. She matches young women of color with wealthy white men, and it's more like an escort service. And she's just like a glorified pimp. That's what she said about Ming. I thought that was hilarious. But that's my review. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe. If you don't worry about it. Thank you for stopping by anyway, and I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.